A margin quickly hooks the chariot, a cart really, nothing like the grand golden chariots favoured by champions in the legends, up to a horse. It's the last of our horses, a bony, exhausted excuse for an animal. He lashes the horse's hindquarters with the blunt face of his blade, and it takes off at a startled gallop. Racing through the open gate, a margin chases the demons and roars a challenge. I hear their excited snorts as they stop and turn to face him. The gate closes. A few of the people on the rampart watch silently, sadly, as the margin fights the demons in the open. Most turn their faces away. Moments later, human screams. A man's. Terrible, but nothing new. I say a silent prayer for a margin, then turn my attention to the wounded, hurrying to the rampart to see who needs my help. The fighting's over. Time for healing. Time for magic. Time for Beck. Refugees. No clouds. The clearest day in a long time. Good for healing. I take power from the sun. It flows through me and from my fingers to the wounded. I use medicine, pastes and potions where they're all that's needed. Magic on those with more serious injuries, Scota and a few others who were struck by the Fomori's fire blood. The warriors are tired, their sleep disturbed. They'll rest later, but most are too edgy to return to their huts straight away. It takes an hour or two for the battle lust to pass. They're drinking corm now and eating bread, discussing the battle and the demons. I'm fine. I had a full night's sleep, only coming on watch a short while before the attack. That's my regular pattern on nights when there isn't an early assault. Having tended to the seriously wounded, I wander around the Rath in case I've missed anybody. I used to think the ring fort was huge. 10 huts contained within the circular wall, plenty of space for everyone. Now it feels as tight as a noose. More huts have been built over the last year to shelter newcomers from the neighbouring villages in Artua. Many of those who live nearby were forced out of their homes and fled here for safety. There are 22 huts now, and although the walls of the Rath were extended outwards during the spring, we weren't able to expand by much. The use of magic has wearied me and left me hungry. I don't have much power, nothing like what Bamba had. The sun helps, but it's not enough. I need food and drink, but not corm. That would make me dizzy and sick. Milk with honey stirred in it will give me strength. Gull's sitting close to the milk pails. He looks downhearted. He's scratching the skin over his blind right eye. Gull was king of this whole tour years ago, the most powerful man in the region, with command of all the local forts. There was even talk that he might become king of the province. Our land is divided into 4 great sectors, each ruled by the most powerful of kings. None of our local leaders had ever held command of the province. It was an exciting prospect. Gull had the support of every king in Artua, and many in the neighbouring regions. Then he lost his eye in a fight and had to step down. He's not bitter. He never talks of what might have been. This was his fate, and he accepts it. But Gull's in a gloomy mood this morning. He hates making mistakes. Feeling sorry for the old warrior, I sit beside him and ask if he wants some milk. No, little one, he says with a weak smile. It wasn't your fault, I tell him. It was a lucky strike by the Fomori. Gull grunts. That should be the end of it, except Conla is standing nearby, a mug of corm in his hands, boasting of the demon he hit with his spear. He hears my comment and laughs. That wasn't luck. Gull's a rusty old goat. Gull stiffens and glares at Conla. 18 years old, unmarried, Conla's one of the handsomest men in the Thua. Tall and lean, with carefully braided hair, a moustache, no beard, fashionable tattoos. His cloak is fastened with a beautiful gold pin, and pieces of fine jewellery are stitched into it all over. Unlike most of the men who wear belted tunics, he favours knee-length trousers. He was the first man in the Rath to wear them, although several have followed his lead. His boots are made from the finest leather, laced artistically with horsehair thongs. He looks more like a king than his father does, and when Con dies, he'll be one of the favourites to replace him. Most of the young women in the tour desire him for his looks and prospects, but he's no great warrior. Everyone knows Conla's an average fighter, and far from the bravest. At least I was there to make a mistake, Gol growls. Where were you, Conla? Combing your hair, perhaps? I was in the thick of the fighting, Conla insists. I struck a demon. I think I killed it. Aye, Gol sneers. You hit it with a spear, in the back, while it was running away. He claps slowly. A most courageous deed. Conla hisses. His hand goes for a spear. Gol snatches for his axe. Enough! Con barks. He's been keeping an eye on the pair. He always seems to be on hand when Conla's on the point of getting into trouble. The king steps forward, scowling. Isn't it bad enough that we have to fight demons every night, without battling among ourselves too? He questioned my courage, Conla whines. And you called him an old goat, Con retorts. Now shake hands and forget it. We don't have time for quarrels. Be men, not children. Gol sighs and extends a hand. Conla takes it, but his face is twisted, and he shakes quickly, then returns to the small group of men who are always huddled close around him. As they leave, he starts to tell them again about the demon he speared, and how he's certain the blow was fatal, boasting his great skill and courage. Later, the gate of the Wrath is open. The cows and sheep have been led out to graze. Demons can only come at night, God be thanked. If they could attack by day as well, we'd never be able to graze our animals or tend our crops. I go for a walk. I like to get out of the ring fort when my duties allow, stretch my legs, breathe fresh air. I stroll to a small hill beyond the Wrath, from the top of which I'm able to look all the way across Shannon's River to the taller hills on the far side. Many of the men have been to those hills, to hunt or fight. I'd love to climb the peaks and see what the world looks like from them, but it's a journey of many days and nights. No chance of doing that while the demons are attacking, and for all we know, the demons will always be on the attack. I feel lonely at times like these, desperate. I wish Banbo was here. She was more powerful than me and had the gift of prophecy. She died last winter, killed by a demon. Got too close to the fighting. Struck by a Fomori with tusks instead of arms. It took her 2 nights and days to die. I haven't learned any new magic since then. I've worked on the spells that I know to keep in shape, but it's hard without a teacher. I make mistakes. I feel my magic getting weaker when it should be growing every day. Where will it end, Bamba? I mutter, eyes on the distant hills. Will the demons keep coming until they kill us all? Are they going to take over the world? Silence. A breeze stirs the branches of the nearby trees. I study the moving limbs in case I can read a sign there. But it just seems to be an ordinary wind, not the otherworldly voice of Bamba. After a while I bid farewell to the hills and return to the Wrath. There's work to be done. The world might be going up in flames, but we have to carry on as normal. We can't let the demons think they've got the beating of us. We dare not let them know how close we are to collapse. After a quick meal of bread soaked in milk, I start on my regular chores. Weaving comes first today. I'm a skilled weaver. My small fingers dart like eels across the loom. I'm the fastest in the Wrath. My work isn't the best, but it's not bad. Next I fetch honey from the hives. The bees were Bamba's. She brought them with her when she settled in the Wrath many years ago. They're my responsibility now. I was scared of them when I was younger, but not anymore. Necton returns from a fishing trip. He slaps 2 large trout down in front of me and tells me to clean them. Necton's a slave, captured abroad when he was a boy. Gol won him in a fight with another clan's king. He's as much a part of our Wrath now as anyone, a free man in all but name. I enjoy cleaning fish. Some women hate it because of the smell, but I don't mind. Also, I like reading their guts for signs and omens, or secrets from my past. I haven't divined anything from a fish's insides yet, but I live in hope. The women grind wheat in stone querns to make bread or porridge. Some work on the roof of the huts, thatching and mending holes. I'd love to build a hut from scratch, draw a circle on the ground and raise it up level by level. There's something magical about building. Bamba told me that all unnatural things, clothes, huts, weapons, are the result of magic. Without magic, she said, men and women would be animals.